Hi everybody, Teacher Ian here. Another in my series of famous English teacher stories. This one is a long one. It's about William Shakespeare. And William Shakespeare is rumored to have spent his last years, the period where we don't know what he was doing, as a rural schoolmaster, teaching Latin and rhetoric. It's one of the most tantalizing what-ifs in literary history. The lost years, the two gaps, 1578 to 1582 and 1585 to 1592, where Shakespeare completely vanishes from the historical record in Stratford-upon-Avon before popping up as a successful playwright in London. The schoolmaster theory is a favorite among historians because it bridges the gap between a glover's son and a man who possessed a massive, sophisticated vocabulary. The first rumor has at its source someone called John Aubrey. So it comes from John Aubrey, a 17th century biographer who interviewed the children of Shakespeare's contemporaries. He wrote, "He understood Latin pretty well, for he had been in his younger years a schoolmaster in the country." Aubrey specifically claimed that Shakespeare worked for a man named Alexander Houghton in Lancashire. The Lancashire connection. Well, the theory suggests that Shakespeare, possibly under the name William Shakeshaft, was sent north to be a tutor for the wealthy Houghton family. The clue, well, in 1851, Alexander Houghton's will mentions a William Shakeshaft asking his heir to provide for him or help him find another master. The why? Well, the Houghtons were prominent Catholics, and during this time, many Catholic families in the north kept secret schoolmasters to educate their children outside the state-mandated Anglican curriculum. Why this theory holds water? Well, if Shakespeare spent several years teaching Latin and rhetoric, it explains three major mysteries. The vocabulary. Shakespeare used roughly 17,000 to 29,000 different words in his plays. The average person uses about 5,000. A teacher's life of constant reading and drilling would account for this. The knowledge of law and classics. His plays are drenched in Ovid, Seneca, and legal terminology, subjects he would have taught daily to school children. The small Latin and less Greek. His rival Ben Jonson famously mocked his education. If Shakespeare was a country schoolmaster rather than a university-educated scholar, it fits Jonson's description perfectly. The typical Tudor schoolroom curriculum. If he was a teacher, his day would have looked nothing like a modern English class. It was a grueling, disciplined environment. There was rhetoric, teaching students the 200 plus figures of speech, metaphor, hyperbole, etc., that he would later use to write Macbeth. Translation, well, moving texts from Latin to English and back again, a process that hones an incredible ear for rhythm and word choice. And acting. In Tudor schools, boys often performed Latin plays to practice their speaking skills. This might have been where he first caught the acting bug. Then there's the counter-arguments. So of course, not everyone agrees. Other popular lost year theories suggest he was a soldier, based on his accurate descriptions of military life, a lawyer's clerk, due to his obsession with legal puns, Or a globe-trotter. Some believed he travelled to Italy, given how many plays are set there. Well, ultimately we don't have a smoking gun document, but the idea of the world's greatest writer starting as a humble teacher, honing his craft by explaining the mechanics of language to rowdy children, is a virgin of history many find very poetic. That's all for now. Thank you. See you in the next one.